Commission Chair, Randy Vosberg, County Administrator, and then is Nick here from the City of Venice. I don't think I saw him, but we want to thank everyone for being here. We're excited to be able to announce today, and they're already ripping through this, an additional surge of vaccine here in Highlands County, an additional 3,600 doses on top of what they're already doing. How many have you gone through today, were you telling me? 1,300. So they've already done 1,300. It's only noon. So I told them at that pace, we need to do even more. So I think we're going to send even more, which is very good. And part of the reason we wanted to do that is if you look, Highlands County has about 37% of the seniors that have received at least one shot. Statewide, we're well over 50% of all of our seniors have received at least one dose. And we have some counties, St. John's, for example, in Northeast Florida, 80% of the seniors have gotten a dose. Even big counties like Palm Beach is 65%, Broward, Duval over 60. So we really feel that surging vaccine to Highlands, that will go from 37% of seniors to probably 50 or 60%, maybe within days even, if we're doing this many thousands. So I want to thank them for their effort. This is one thing we're doing, but we're also going to do on top of that a rural surge program, not just for Highlands, but for Glades, Levy County, Putnam, Dixie, and Gilchrist counties. So if you look at all those counties, Glades is the lowest in the state at 29% of seniors. Highlands is close to the bottom at 37, Dixie 38, Gilchrist 39, Levy 40, Putnam 40. So again, our state is way above 50% of seniors. But I think the good thing about the rural, if you get the doses in and you get the seniors signed up, you can double those numbers very quickly. So what we're going to do is we're going to partner with Health Hero. So this is a provider that the state has used in the past for immunization campaigns. And the goal is going to be those rural counties where the senior coverage is less than the state average. What they're going to do is increase resources to any existing pod. See, I've been working with Representative Tuck about bringing more vaccine to Highlands. So we initially looked into setting up a site somewhere, either at a community center, a senior community, something like that. And then the folks here is like, no, just surge more to R5. We've got a lot of capacity. And I think that was the right decision because they're able to do thousands of people a day through here, which is great. And so the Health Hero, they're going to do things if they want to surge to existing, which I think is what we'll do here. We do pods at churches, we do pods at schools, at senior community centers, all over. Whatever works, we'll do. And I think they're going to try to do it. So what they're going to try to do, in addition to what we're surging to Highlands, is do another 500 vaccine doses on top of that per day, which is really, really good. So I think that this is a good program to do the rural outreach. You know, it's interesting. Some rural counties have done very, very well. Lafayette, for example, they're actually number one in the state in senior coverage. I think it's like 82%. So I think you can get there. And I think that's one of the good things with, if you have a little bit less population, you get that vaccine in there, those numbers really change very quickly. And the fact that they're already doing this many here today, and you're probably going to, at this pace, do 2,500 maybe even more than that. So what I said was, like, we thought you would do like 1,200 extra a day. Looks like they can do more. So we're going to try to work with more of that coming. So we've got Highlands is vaccinated as of this morning, 13,600 seniors. Probably more than that because the reporting lags by probably 3 or 4 to 5 days. But nevertheless, the most recent report, 37%. I think after today, they're going to be well over 40. And then with the surge we're doing and the rural program, we should get Highlands well over 50% of seniors very, very soon. And so we're going to keep working until we're able to do that. And so this is the rural program is kind of yet another instance of us working to do whatever we can to get more vaccines to our senior citizens. We've done, last week I was at Edward Waters College in Jacksonville announcing a number of vaccination sites at underserved areas. And so we've started in Pahokee in Palm Beach County. We did Edward Waters, now FAMU in Leon, Kissimmee Community in Osceola, Broward College in Broward County, Oak Grove Park, and Overton Youth Center in Miami-Dade. So those are additional ways for us to get vaccine. And we also have an expansion of the pharmacy program. We had Publix was the main provider. Then the federal government turned on their pharmacy program. So now statewide, we have 12 Walgreens, 81 CVS's, 730 Publix pharmacies throughout Florida, 119 Walmart and Sam's Club, 43 Winn-Dixies. And so that's 52 different counties that have some type of retail pharmacy footprint. In Highlands County, we have 3 Publix pharmacies that are offering vaccinations for seniors. We have 2 Walmarts and we have 1 Winn-Dixie. And so the Publix window will open tomorrow at 7 a.m. And if you want to make an appointment there, you go to publix.com/COVID vaccine. If you want to go to Walmart, you go to walmart.com/COVID vaccine. And then Winn-Dixie, you go to winn-dixie.com/pharmacy/COVID vaccine. Let's say one thing about the pharmacies. We've seen it really in 2 different areas. When we went into Palm Beach County with Publix, we had 65 Publix pharmacies there. 90% of the seniors live within a mile and a half of at least one of the Publix. And what we saw was Palm Beach was below the state average. Now they're in the mid 60s, which is above the state average, because you have all these pharmacies in people's neighborhoods. They can do 50, 100 a day in each store. The other way we've seen it with a big increase, and it's really good, is Miami-Dade County, very big county. We put in over 60 CVS and Navarro pharmacies, and now they're above the state average. And I think they're going to end up above 60% very quickly, because each one of those stores is doing between 100 and 200 shots. And those are in corners and different parts of every nook and cranny in the community. So I think the retail pharmacy has been very effective. We're working with CVS to expand it even more with them. And I think we'll have an announcement on that very, very soon. We've also continued to partner with faith-based communities. We've done dozens and dozens and dozens of faith-based events, tens of thousands of vaccinations, mostly with African-American churches, but we've also done synagogues. We've also done Catholic churches. And it's been very, very successful. We're going to continue doing that. We have a number of them teed up for this weekend. The state of Florida has 87 permanent vaccination sites. This is one of them here in Highlands County. Obviously, you have at least one in every 67 counties throughout the state of Florida. We've also gone into 25 senior communities and vaccinated seniors living in those 55 and up communities. It's been very, very successful. Seniors level up and they just come on their golf cart, get the shot, and then go back to their house. And we're continuing to do the program for Homebound Seniors. So we've done over 1,400. We did one of the seniors in Charlotte County was one of our first on that. We've done some World War II veterans. We've done Holocaust survivors. We've done a lot on that, and the seniors really appreciate it. So we're going to continue to do that. And then the state also just had started yesterday 4 federal sites where FEMA is bringing additional vaccine, and that's big kind of the urban areas, Miami, Tampa, Orlando, and Jacksonville. They're offering 3,000 doses per day per site. I think the other day was about half of that. Maybe as the word gets out, you'll see more traffic, but still there's shots going in arms, and we really appreciate any support we can get. And then finally, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. We're going to get 175,000 doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Those 4 federal sites do have some Johnson & Johnson. That's apart from our allocation. So we're going to get 175,000 within the next couple days. Hopefully, we'll get it later today or tomorrow, and we're tracking that. What we're going to do on Johnson & Johnson is not all of it, but we're going to offer that to the 50 and up law enforcement, fire, and teachers and school personnel. Because if you look, 175,000, that's about statewide. We could get all those folks in that age group and give them the shot. And I think if you're in the workforce, to be able to do a 1-dose vaccine, which is Johnson & Johnson, you get the shot and then you move on. I think that's something that could be very effective. So we're working on Johnson & Johnson. We're working with sheriff's departments. We're working with some of the schools to figure out what makes the most sense on that. We will also be offering that as part of some of the normal vaccinations. And we really are kind of waiting to see if you're 75 and you come here and you have a choice between J&J and the other. Do you want the Pfizer or the Moderna, or do you want the J&J? And some people want the 2-dose. Some people want the 1 dose. So we're just going to have to figure out and make sure the J&J is going to the folks who want it the most. But I do think as we start to get below 65, which we will soon for the general population, anyone in the workforce, that Johnson & Johnson's a great thing, because you go, you get it, and then you can just move on. And then if we're doing any type of events where we're taking vaccine to a community, right now when we do if we're at a church, we got to come back in 3 weeks or 4 weeks, which is fine. We're happy to do it. But just think of how much more you can do if you show up, you vaccinate a bunch of people, you move on to the next community. You don't have to worry about going back for the 2nd dose. So we're not getting any additional J&J for another 2 more weeks. So it's 175,000 over the next 2 weeks total. And then I think they're going to ramp up production now that they have the emergency use authorization finalized. So all in all, I think that there's a lot of great signs with the vaccines becoming even more available. As I've said, we've done millions of senior citizens. I mean, we really believe in putting seniors first. We think a lot of states have followed what we've done. And, we have a very large state land-wise, and then we've got a huge population. And all the seniors, as most people know, it's not like they're all in Boca Raton. I mean, they're all over Florida. So it makes it logistically, you got to get out, you got to get in any community you can. And that's what we're doing. And that's why we're here today. And I look forward to them. I mean, this is really impressive. We have some big sites across the state. I don't know that they put up these types of numbers where you're already doing this many people by noon. So I think this is really exciting, and we want to continue to support it in any way that we can. And with that, we'll take some questions. Well, so my order was 50 and up for teachers and any school personnel, any fire, any police. What the federal government has done is said anybody that works in the school system, regardless of age. So they're able to go in these federal pharmacy sites and the federal site. You're 22 and you're a teacher, you can go get it. Now, we're going to focus prioritizing seniors, because the fact of the matter is 95.7% of all COVID-related mortality is age 50 and up, and 82% is 65 and up. So I'm not opposed to someone 20, 22 getting a vaccine, but if we want to save lives, we need to get all the seniors. And so that's going to be our priority. That said, the federal government issued that directive. So if you go to cvs.com, they're going to sign you up if you want to, if you show that you work in the school system, and you'll be able to do it. But our pods and the things when we're surging, we are targeting the seniors still. We've got a lot of great stuff. I mean, we're well over 50% of seniors. We've done millions. We're going to have, we're doing a lot this week. We're going to probably average 80,000 initial doses a day for Monday through Friday, which would be great. And we're still doing 2nd doses. But man, we still got more work to do in the seniors. And then what we'll do from there is we'll lower the age. So once we get a critical mass of seniors, the demand starts to go down. We'll lower the age, and then we'll get the folks who are 60 and maybe 55 and get them up. But I don't want to do that and then swamp out some of the seniors that are still trying to get the vaccine, because the fact of the matter is, through most of December and January, we were getting 250, 260,000 initial doses a week. Well, our state has 4.5 million seniors, and so we were getting some stuff done. Now we're getting more. We're 350, 400, 420,000 doses a week. And so you're seeing that progress. And I think if we just continue on that mission, get those seniors, I think we need at least 65% of seniors. And I think we can get there. Not every senior wants it. That's fine. We're not going to force it on anybody. But I do think that if we can get there, then you're in such a great position going forward. Well, I think it depends. I think that what they've managed to do here using this setup, I think is very efficient and very effective. And we've had some other ones in some other areas where they're drive-through that did do 1,000 to 2,000 a day. The ones that were in the FEMA sites in the urban areas, they didn't have long lines. The demand was not what I think people thought. They did about half the doses that they had allocated for the day. Now, they're not really signing people up online like a lot of this is. They're actually just picking certain communities. They're knocking on doors. They're asking people to come get vaccinated. And so it's a little bit different approach. I'm totally fine with it because we do a bunch of different approaches depending on our venues. But I got to say, I mean, when we brought the vaccine here today, I was not anticipating hearing that they had gone through that many. And I think they got a really good setup. So we're going to do the 3,600. I'm going to try to get more. And then we're also going to do the rural outreach program. So I think Highlands is going to be in good shape. So hopefully, a week from now, we're looking at 50, 60% of seniors in Highlands. And we'll take Highlands hopefully from one of the bottom to one of the top. It's a lot easier to do that very quickly with the population being a little smaller. When you're in Miami or some of those places, you can make progress, but it just takes a lot longer because Miami's got 467,000 seniors. We've got a couple senators here. We've got the sheriff. We've got folks, the incident commander, David Dees. We've got a great group. We're really excited today to be out here in Marion County at On Top of the World Senior Living Community. This site is going to do 3,300 Pfizer vaccines over the next 3 days for seniors here in Marion County. And this is a collaboration between On Top of the World and the county, and obviously the state bringing the vaccines and helping them do this. We identified Marion because if you look, we've done millions of seniors that have gotten shots in the state of Florida. Well over half of seniors have done. I think we're going to hit 60% soon, we're really exciting. We're really leading the way. But Marion was under 50%. Actually, I think they were even in the low 40s. So we really believe that being able to do these shots here is going to help. I think we're going to end up getting over 50% very soon. And I think this is going to make a big difference. I can tell you, just talking with a couple of the seniors there, they're really happy. It was very easy. How they did this logistically, we've done hundreds of sites probably around the state, and I've visited dozens of them. And they really have this thing down. It's very seamless. They're doing a great job. Everyone was happy. Very, very short wait. We also, though, have been working with Walgreens to bring additional retail pharmacy options to Marion County. And so both are going to be located in Ocala. One is at 807 East Silver Springs Boulevard, and the other is at 260 Marion Oaks Boulevard. And you can visit walgreens.com and click COVID vaccine information to schedule an appointment. There's going to be 80 appointments available on weekdays, and there's going to be 60 appointments available on Saturdays and Sundays. And so this is just a starting point with Walgreens. We want to have more Walgreens have it as we get more vaccine to be able to come online. So in addition to a site like this, in addition to having sites, permanent sites, we have, in addition to the new retail footprint, we already have 12 Publix pharmacies in Marion that are offering shots to seniors every day, 3 Walmarts, 1 Sam's Club, and 1 Winn-Dixie. And so Marion is one of the first test counties for the retail pharmacy program when we rolled out Publix. And Marion, Citrus, and Hernando, it worked very well. They did a good job. And so we continued to do that. So Publix.com/COVID vaccine. They have a window open this morning. I would imagine that probably all those slots have been taken, but you can check it out to see if there's any available. And I know their next window is going to open Monday morning at 7 a.m. You could also go to Walmart.com/COVID vaccine, SamsClub.com/COVID, and then Winn-Dixie.com/pharmacy/COVID vaccine. And so the retail footprint, part of this is what the state has done, but a lot of these doses now are coming through the federal retail pharmacy program. And I'll tell you, we've seen some really good output on some of these pharmacies throughout the state of Florida. So we want to continue making that available. We're well over 2.5 million seniors that have been reported to have been vaccinated. I think we're probably running 3 to 5 days behind in terms of the reporting on it. So we're probably a lot higher than even that shows. And so we want to keep the momentum going. If you look this week, we're doing a lot of shots reported already. And again, that'll only grow as the reporting catches up. So we really believe we have a great pathway to get the vast majority of seniors with at least 1 shot very, very soon. And at that point, we will then look at lowering the age and we'll make an announcement on that. But that will happen sometime in March. And once we have the firm date on that, we're going to let everybody know about it. But I do think that being here in Marion, they're 11th from the bottom in senior coverage. This is going to help get them closer or even above the state average. And so I'm really excited to do that. We were also able to roll out yesterday a rural outreach program. If you look at the 11 counties that have the lowest senior coverage rate, most of those are rural counties, which on one hand, it's a little bit harder or people are spread out. But on the other hand, there's not as many people. If you surge some resources there, we can turn those numbers around very quickly. So we're partnering with a group called Health Hero, which is a provider that has done other immunization campaigns in Florida to increase the efforts to vaccinate seniors in underserved areas of Highlands, Glades, Levy, Putnam, Dixie, and Gilchrist counties. And I was in Highlands yesterday. We surged another 3,600 doses to Highlands at one of their permanent sites, and they were doing so well. We're sending them even more because they have some people on a waiting list. We want to knock out that waiting list of thousands and thousands of seniors. So I think that's going to happen over the next few days, which is going to be really, really exciting. Health Hero, what they're going to do, they're going to look at the situation. If they want to use existing sites, they can get some of the doses to existing sites. If they want to do a pop-up site at a church or in a senior community or at a school, they can do that as well. It's really what's the most effective to get the shots in arms. So each county, we're looking to do upwards of a 500 dose daily increase. And that will make a difference very quickly because, as I said, these are not the most populous counties. We were also last week at the HBCU, Edward Waters College. So we have 6 permanent sites that we're working with folks in communities that may be underserved. So those are doing hundreds of vaccines a day at each one. We've done dozens and dozens and dozens of vaccine sites at churches, predominantly African-American churches, since the beginning of January. Jared Moskowitz, the Director of Emergency Management, has worked with every single member of the Legislative Black Caucus in both the House and the Senate, and in many instances has been able to bring a site in their districts at their direction for whichever church communities they thought that made the most sense. And the Jared also, the Biden administration asked him on one of the briefings recently to brief some other states about Florida's approach to 65 and up vaccinations, in particular, all the great things Florida's done to be able to work with faith community, be able to work with churches, but particularly churches in the African-American community. So I want to thank Jared for all his hard work and really getting the job done. Here in Marion, the permanent vaccination site is still going at Paddock Mall, and that's almost 6,000 Pfizer vaccines per week. And we want to continue to do that, and we will definitely continue to do it. Here is one of our senior 55 and up community sites. We've done a couple dozen of those at this point, and really, I think the seniors here really appreciate doing this. And so this will be 3,300 doses, and I think we're really excited about it. We're still doing our Homebound Seniors program, over 1,400 seniors where you go to their homes and vaccinate a homebound senior. And then we have starting Wednesday, we've had the 4 federal sites, FEMA in Tampa, Jacksonville, Orlando, and in Miami. Those are offering 3,000 vaccines a day. The first day, they did about half of their allotment. I think yesterday may have picked up. I haven't gotten the final numbers on that. But we're happy to have additional doses being brought to Florida, and so we'll do it. We have received our initial doses of J&J late last night. I'm going to be going to an event in Polk County. We're going to actually be vaccinating law enforcement with the J&J vaccine. And so this is now going to be something that's present in the state of Florida. And I think it's a great option for a 1-dose vaccine that you don't have to have a booster for, and you don't have to have in freezing temperatures, which is really, really good. I'd also like to point out some of the things with the economic performance in Florida. So many of you know the December 20th unemployment was initially put in at 6.1%. Now that was better than the national average. Obviously, it's been a big improvement for where we were in April. Now with the benchmark revisions, they're revising our December unemployment rate from 6.1% to 5.1%. And so that is a really positive revision. I think it shows that we've got a lot of economic momentum here in the state of Florida, and we want to continue on that path. And the only reason we're doing it is because Florida's open. We're trusting people to make decisions. We want businesses to be functional and operational. We want people working. We stand with our folks who work at places like restaurants and these other endeavors because they're important parts of our community. But if you look at the unemployment picture, very much improved over what people thought. The revenue to the state is now being revised upward even more. And so for February 2021, the documentary stamp tax collection came in 40% higher than the estimate. Why? Because people are buying homes like hotcakes here. It's hard to find a home in many parts of Florida because the real estate market is doing so well. Sales tax up 10% over the estimate for February of 2021. Increases for insurance premium taxes. You have intangible taxes up 47. Again, we're not raising taxes at all. We haven't done any of that. Just the revenues coming in. This is really telling. Corporation filing fees up 74% above the estimate because people are looking to be able to start businesses here. Lord knows you can't start businesses in a lot of these other states, so they're coming here to do it, and you see it reflected in some of these numbers. And so the revenue is being revised upward every time they look at it. And again, I think that's a testament that the state of Florida is doing a good job. We're getting things done. We got a whole host of things that we have to tackle. But boy, I would much rather have that unemployment at 5.1% than at 8 or 9%, like you saw in some of these other states. I'd rather have the revenue coming above estimate than us be hurting for revenue like so many people were predicting just 9 or 10 months ago. So we're happy to be here in Marion County. I'm really impressed with all the stuff that's going on here. I was out at that equestrian center recently, and I mean, man, that is going to be something else. This is a great place. Okay, take a couple questions. We're not doing any occupation changes. We're going to do an age-based approach going forward. And so I said that it will happen in March. We will move the age down. I haven't got that exact date because it's dependent on the vaccine supply and it's dependent on making sure we're getting shots in the arms for seniors. But the next change is going to be lowering the age from 65 down to either 60 or 55. Most likely we'll do 60. And then we'll do the next week 55. So stay tuned. That announcement will be coming relatively soon. But that's what we're going to do instead of trying to pick and choose different things. And so if you're 60, you're going to be able to go. And it doesn't matter what your vocation is, or it doesn't matter if you're retired. You're going to be able to go. Then when we do 55, that'll be for everybody who is 55 and up. And if you look at COVID and the statistics nationally, 95.7% of all COVID-related mortality is age 50 or above. And so that's why we did seniors first, and that's why we will lower the age, but we're still going to be focusing on those people who are 50 up because that's the best way to save them alive. So the second part of your question, yes, it's going to be a larger effort. We've had Walgreens come online over the last week in a variety of parts of the state. And basically, Walgreens has been great because they've asked us, hey, where do you need it? And so if I have a place like Marion that is less than half the seniors that have gotten shots, I want it in Marion. St. John's, where I'm from, I think they're like 81 or 82% of their seniors have been vaxxed. That's great. We love that. But I don't need to put a Walgreens there if they've already got 80, 81%. Some of these other places that have done really well, Palm Beach, they're almost 2/3 of their seniors. This massive county with these massive numbers of seniors, they're almost 2/3 because we put in the retail pharmacies with Publix, and that really increased their numbers. So I'm looking at places like Marion, like some of these other places. And look, it's not that Marion's done bad. I mean, when you're in the 40%, that's a lot better than some of these other states have done for elderly people. But man, we want to be able to get that going further. So yeah, this is just the start of an effort, and we're going to be doing more with both Walgreens and with CVS because I think it's close to a lot of people. It's going to be easier to be able to do that than necessarily coming to some of these sites. So that will happen as our vaccine increases.
The J&J vaccine from Polk County, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I can't give you away the whole announcement, but I will just tell you that we really believe because J&J is a single dose, we're looking at law enforcement, fire, and teachers 50 and up. That's perfect for people that are in the workforce because you can go one time, you can do the shot, you don't have to worry about scheduling the booster. And what we found in Florida is the vast majority of people do come back from the booster, but it's not 100%. And so this way you do it and you do. These sites like this that we're doing, this is great. But I was talking to the seniors. I'm like, we'll see you in 21 days because they're going to have to come back and do the booster, which is fine. But man, just imagine we're able to do these. We show up in an area and you can do thousands of people and you never have to go back there again. So I think the J&J is going to give us a lot of versatility. The question is, what's the demand for J&J going to be? Some people have been negative on it. And I've always said, you're crazy if you're negative on this thing. The data is awesome. 100% reduction in death and 100% reduction in hospitalizations. Guys, if you get a cold-like symptom, that ain't the end of the world. If it can save your life and keep you out of the hospital, that is an effective vaccine. So to only have to get one shot, I just think that's the best way to be able to go. Now, we're obviously still going to offer the other. But I didn't know, are people really set on Pfizer or Moderna? And I'll tell you, I think the reception to J&J has been very positive so far. We actually had folks, we're doing a lot of the African-American churches. We had some folks from the community call my office and say, hey, we'll be able to get more people for J&J. I'm like, all right, that's fine. So yes, we're going to be doing, we're going to be working on doing a number of law enforcement pods. If you look, the number of sworn law enforcement officers that are 50 plus and fire and all those folks, I mean, it isn't that many people. So our view is we have this J&J shipment. We can take some of that and knock out everyone who wants it in a relatively short amount of time. And so once you do 50 plus with law enforcement, I'm not saying people under 50 aren't going to want it, but the uptake is going to be a lot lower for people 35 than it will be for 55. So